Hi guys, Jason Smith here, down at Bury Golf Range in Suffolk. Welcome to the Ping i525 iron review. So, new for 2022, and it takes over the i500, something that did quite well actually for Ping. I've got the 6 and 8 to test in here. So let's do the old 8 iron first. Let's pop the 6 over here for the moment. So, slightly smaller blade lengths, next to no offset. I mean, that looks down by the golf ball, there's hardly any offset there. It looks very nice to the player's eye. Top lines are, well, they look quite thin. When you look from the address, they do look quite thin, but then when you look at it, it's got a little bit of chamfered meat up the top there. Trying to move weight a little bit up the top, I'm guessing, by the looks of that. Anyway, inside here, you've got the classic hollow-bodied idea with the 500 started. I'll give this one a hit first of all, and then continue chatting on about all this tech in here. Yep. So as you can hear, it isn't quiet. It is an i500 replacement. So i500, the only complaint I really had about that was the noise it made. It was quite loud. It wasn't G710 loud, but it was quite loud. This is slightly, I wouldn't say more muted, but it's a different pitch. So inside here, yes, you've still got the hollow-bodied idea. You've still got the heel and toe weighting, i529 kind of idea in that. You've still got a bucket ton of grooves, as in, there's a lot of grooves. There's a lot of grooves. I think there's 4 extra grooves than normal on this. It's a lot of grooves. I mean, it's fine because it's got a little white line at the bottom, which I quite like. When it comes to Ping, they've had that there for I don't know how long, and it does look quite nice. We'll talk about the face, because this for me is called a quite interesting thing when it comes to the face which is on this iron. Let's go give it a hit. And it is a powerful feeling when you hit it off the face. It is that one that's going to give you that inspired raw. So the face. Right, so imagine a fairway wood or a hybrid in their range, and they say the G425. Take the black face off, give it a bit of a scrub, make it that colour, and stick it on an iron. And that's effectively what they've done. They've put a miraging steel face on the face, which is made of steel, and it springs a lot, and it can make a bit of a noise. So to combat the noise, because it isn't quiet, they've put some magic material behind, which effectively means hot melt. Again, comment below if anyone knows the exact chemical compound to try and deaden the sound. It's a dampener more than anything else, because it can get quite noisy. So last one before we go over to the 6. It's nice. I mean, it's absolutely fine. If I wanted some form of like the feeling of hitting a powerful punch off the face, it's definitely go to something like this. I mean, this does give you that feeling when you hit it that it's literally firing off the face. It does actually look, considering it's got quite player-ish inspired looks and shape to the face and to the head, it looks quite forgiving, easy to hit, whatever that means. But yeah, let's go flick over to the 6 and see how that performs. All right, back now with the 6 iron. So, lofts on these things. These are not traditionally lofted, we'll call it. We'll call it more modern lofted. Yep, modern lofts mean effectively cranked somewhat. So the 8 iron that I've just hit there, that was 35 degrees. Again, I'll stick it on the screen if I can, find the lofts. 35 degrees. So that's 1 degree weaker than my 7. This, the 6 iron, is 27, which is effectively my 5. However, I've hit this a few times already, and especially this one. This feels like this is coming off the face like a rocket. Proper rocket-like. So anyway, down by the golf ball, same thing again. Slightly looks smaller blade length than the 500, still got that white line-up line, still got a load of grooves. But top line's looking, actually, considering it's a 6 iron, and these are fractionally longer as standard as to what I would, obviously, what manufacturer's standard is standard for them. No, but the top line looks nice and confidence inspiring. So let's give this one a hit, because this one, with 27 degrees, with all the tech in their head and that miraging steel face, it really does make it feel like it is firing off the face. I mean, can you hear that? I mean, that is a... this one is starting to get a bit, so I wouldn't say noisy. But it's noisy. The pitch of the noise is getting up there now. You can put as much hot melt behind that as much as you want, but it is getting a little bit. I mean, this is feeling like it's coming off like a rocket now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's coming off the face, and the flights on these things are whoosh forward. I mean, they're range balls, but these are going. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing, well, so when I actually go to do the testing of these to find out exactly how these perform, I'm not going to just do what most people do, basically say how well they perform out the middle, because they're all going to perform out the middle, doesn't matter. But I want to see what happens when you mishit this, and I suppose so does most amateur golfers, because the amateur golfers which are going to buy this, and that's kind of in the i210, G425 in between kind of bracket, they're going to want to know when they don't quite hit the middle, whether this thing works or not. But anyway, go get the last one. Yeah, and we'll go do some forgiveness testing. It does. I mean, it is a really, really forward flight. It'd be really, yeah, with this with a proper ball, I reckon this could go a long way. 27 degrees 6 irons, my 5 iron. I think it might even go further than my 5 iron. Anyway, so let's go in the custom fitting studio. Let's go hit a load of shots. Let's go hit this not just from the middle, because we know it's going to perform on the middle, yeah, but we need to know how well this works when you don't quite catch it, to see if it's something you could put in your bag. So guys, now in the custom fitting studio after hitting a load of shots with the i525 6 and the 8 iron. So had both those to test, and I'm quite glad I did, because we'll go into that a bit later, but we've got all the ball data, we've got all the club head data, and we've also got some shots when you don't quite hit the middle, as golfers don't hit the middle every single time. So when you don't, you like to know how well something could possibly perform when you don't quite catch it. So we'll go do the ball data first. So ball speed, this is on average, remember. So the averages are slightly a bit lower because I've done loads and loads and loads and loads of shots. I hit lots and lots of decent shots to start with, just to see how well it performed. And then, yeah, so the averages are a little bit skewed, but there you go. That's what you do a data set for. So on average, 115.7 miles an hour, launching at 19.6, spinning at 7.7, so 7,700, which is not bad whatsoever, descending at 49.4, offline by 2.9 yards, peaking height at 34, and carry of 155. Now, that 155 has been affected by the fact I've hit some just ropey shots. I have hit a lot of shots with this, so the averages aren't skewed too much. So when I was hitting normal shots, I'm looking at hitting around about the 158, 159, 160 mark. So 155 isn't too far off, but it's slightly less than what I would expect. But look at the club head speed and club head data. I've got basically 90 miles an hour on the club head speed, attack angle 5.1, 1.2 from the inside, 0.7 close, 0.3 on the toe down, 4 mil toe, 5 mil low for the strike on average. But you can see, hitting some weird and wonderfuls, and we'll go to the weird and wonderfuls now. First one, the best weird and wonderful of the lot. 89.1 miles an hour club head speed, 0.2 from the inside, 0.9 open. So that should be a baby little fade. However, 3 mil low, 22 mil toe. Yes, these 525s aren't massive, and 22 mil toes nearly missing those very many micro grooves. So carrying at 148, has it lost distance? Of course it has, and it will do off 22 mil toe. Has it kept its line though? Yep, 5.4 yards, it's done exceptionally well. It has got a decent amount of loft. Remember, it is an 8 iron, but I mean, it's done well considering. It's lost about 10 yards from my optimum, what I'd like to see, but it's done good. Next one, club head speed, 90.5. 0.9 from the inside, 0.0 on the face. Look at that, sort of 0.9, 0.0. 2 mil low, 10 mil toe. So not quite as toey. First one was 22. This one's 10. Now, the interesting thing, when you get to only 10 mil, it's now carried its normal number. So we've got its pure forgiveness up to that point. It's fine being hit 10 mil toe. it will carry the 158, 159 kind of number that I'm looking to hit. So I know that I can get away with that going on the golf course. It seems that it's a much more happier place off the slight toe miss than anything else. Good, and it's 2.5 yards offline, so yeah, hold its line as well. Next one, 90.3 clubhead speed, 0.0 on the old path, 0.2 closed, close to 0.0, 0.0. 7 mil low, 5 mil heel. It's done well. It's carried at 154, so it hasn't really lost much yardage. I mean, it is only slightly low heel. However, it doesn't feel happy at all when you hit it off the heel. Low is okay, but it's the heel, and even deviating 5 mil and that small amount off middle, it does feel like this could really drop out the sky very, very quickly if you don't catch it right at all and you hit it out especially in the heel. It just seems to not like it whatsoever. It seems to be very sensitive from my own feel and perspective. Next one, 90.8 clubhead speed, 1 open, so a little baby fade, that should be. 11 mil low, 4 mil toe. 11 mil low, half an inch off the middle vertically. There is not much room down the bottom of the golf club when it comes to these things, so that is proper bottom groovy. Have we lost a little bit of distance? A little bit, 153, so about 5 yards to what I would see as my average, but only 2 yards on the actual average on here, which is done exceptionally well. Held its line as well, 1.2 yards offline. Well done, Ping. Next one, 90.2 clubhead speed, 2.9 from the inside, 2.2 closed. 9 mil low, 15 mil toe. That is low toe. That is very low toe. And it's carried exactly on the net figure, on the averaged figure, and only 3-4 yards short of what I would expect. And so when you come to the toe, again, it does love it. You can deviate far more off the toe, low toe, than you can ever do it heel, and it's fine. As soon as you deviate heel on this thing, it just doesn't like it. Held its line as well, 2 yards offline, done exceptionally well. And when it comes to normal, if you're going to swing 89.8, so give or take, same clubhead speed, 1.8 from the inside, 0.8 closed, baby little draw, tiny little draw. 5 mil low, 2 mil toe. So within very small amounts, it's effectively middle. And it's going the 160 yards that I'd expect it to. There you go. That's what I would expect it to do. So let's go to the 6-iron now. Remember, so this face is a variable face forged steel miraging thing that propels the golf ball off the face at what feels like the speed of light. Especially in the 6-iron, it comes off like an absolute rocket. Yeah. So what we'll do the ball data first, and we'll do all that lot, and we'll go into, but look at the ball data on this one. Ball speed 128.6. Remember, this is with averaged out, and you've got some miss hits and stuff in there as well. But yeah, launching at 15.4, spinning at basically 5,000, so not too bad, nearly 4.9. Descent angle is 45.5, 1 yard offline on average. Peak height is 33 and 189 yards in carry. Now, 189 yards in carry is with miss hits included of the ones that I've purposely tried to mess about in to gain an idea of what happens when you try and deliver 0-0 or your normal swing. Doesn't matter if it's across with the face open or from the inside with the face slightly closed. If you play draw fade, doesn't matter. What you need is you need to repeat what your normal pattern is, an unfairly 0-0, but misstrike it to test how well something will work or not. So 189. In actual fact, my normal would be about 193, 194. But even if it is 189, it's 34 yards longer than the average to average of the 8. That's long. That's a big, big gap. So yeah, that's 34 yards, give or take. So let's go to the clubhead data, make sure that I'm not swinging at 1 billion miles an hour. Obviously it gets slightly longer, but golf clubs do when you go up in the old numbers or down the old numbers, whichever way you look at it. Clubhead speed 94.3, attack angle 3.5 down, 1.2 from the inside, 1.2 closed, 1.2 down on the lie angle. 6 mil toe, 4 mil low. So you can see some shots on there already that aren't quite middle anyway, but we'll go on to some of those right now. So best one, the Lofts. I like to try and miss-hit certain things. When it comes to clubs with not a lot of loft, I still do like my fingers, and it is still February and cold, so I don't necessarily want to fuzz my fingers too much. But Club head speed 95.4, 0.3 from the inside and 1.1 closed, 0 mil high, 15 mil toe. 15 mil toe is quite a bit when you've only got 27 degrees of loft, and it didn't feel great, I must admit it didn't, but it went 191, so it went 2 yards more than average and only a couple to 3 yards less than what I would see as a normal average if I was hitting it normally. And it's held its line 5.1 off yard. It's done very, very well. I'm very impressed with that from a 6-iron. 96.2 miles an hour on clubhead speed, 3.5 from the inside, 3.1 closed. This one when I tried to dial up the speed a little bit, a couple miles an hour to see if I could just launch it to 200 and carry bar one blooming yard is 200 yards carry. It's too much, really. And that's from a 2 mil high, 14 mil toe. Again, 14 mil toe. If I'd got 200 yards carry from a 14 mil toe, I wonder where it had gone if I'd have banged right out the middle. It's done exceptionally well. It really, I mean, this 6-iron has made a rocket fuel because it does just go offline 3.7. It's a really very, very, very punchy iron. Next one, 94.6 miles an hour, 0.2 from the inside, 1.5 open. So yes, there's with a slight par from the inside, 1.5 open. The face is 1.7 open to target at the point of impact. So I have not done my job properly, really. I did do my job properly on a miss hit though, 9 mil low, 12 mil toe, very low toe. Didn't like that whatsoever, but it's dropped in yardage. It has. It's dropped in yardage because of the strike. Yes, it has, low toe, and also the face open. So it has gone 18 yards offline, which is not the greatest thing in the world. And it's lost about 7 yards off the average net figure, give or take about 10 yards or so from what I would expect to hit. So it's actually done, considering the strike and the face slightly open, 10 yards to lose on that is more than acceptable. Next one, 95.3 clubhead speed, 0.4 in to out. 2.5 close, so should do a little bit of a draw. 10 mil low, 2 mil toe, so 2 mil toe is not a lot, but 10 mil low on a 27 degree, not very big golf club is quite a lot. And it's carried 188. So 1 yard short of the average and about 5 yards or so short of what I'd want to hit it. It's kept its line at 8 yards as well, so it's done blooming well. I am very surprised just how forgiving the 525 is. Is it forgiving off the low heel necessarily? Yeah, not so much, but there you go. So conclusion, basically, when it comes to this, I am more than happy with the 525. The 525 as a replacement to the 500, it performs just as good as the 500 in every single realm of its performance when it comes to distance. Distance is not a problem whatsoever. This thing is like a rocket, especially in the lower numbered, lower lofted irons. I would have to, if they were mine and if I was going to buy a set of these, I would definitely have to change the lofts around. I'd have to be a bit more intelligent on blending the standard lofts into retro lofts. Remember, you've got your normal lofts, but in a ping on certain golf clubs, you can actually go retro spec to weaken them off, or you can go power spec if you want some extra yards. I would have to look at them and graduate the retro spec in as the loft comes off, because 30 something yards between two golf clubs, as in the 6 and the 8, for me is too much. There's no way that I'd play with a 15, 16 yard gap between golf clubs. It just for me would not work. That means it just, sod's law would be a case of every single one that I go to, it would be, I've got a half shot here, a half there. I'd be having to constantly draw a little draw one in or a fade one in to try and hit in between distances, and it just wouldn't work. So I'd have to play with the loss. But then again, guys, you're going to get custom fit hopefully for these, and I would definitely suggest to do so. And a decent custom fitter will be able to go through all the different options when it comes to what requirements you are. And yes, the faster you swing, then potentially the more of the conversation will need to be around about when it comes to specific loft requirements and stuff like that. But again, that's the reason why you're getting custom fit, guys. So go to someone who knows what they're talking about and make sure, you get the right advice. So good looking irons, great performing irons, sound a bit loud, but it's definitely a quieter version of the 500s. Very punchy faces. Really punchy faces, but yeah, blooming good irons from Ping, and they'll do very, very well in the coming years, because remember, generally speaking, they're not someone who's going to re-release the 535 or whatever it's going to be called in about 2 weeks' time. They'll keep it in the range for the next 18 months to 2 years at least. So anyway, hope you liked the video. If you did, one of them, thank you very much. Thumbs up button down there. There it is. Whilst you're down there though, little red button, it's all subscribe. If you could subscribe, that'd be great. All good for the channel. Next to it, little bell icon. If you click that one, that'll let you know next time I upload another video. So I hope you're well, and we'll see you again soon.